folks. Welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. I'm Sam from the Treehouse, and I'm joined by the intrepid crew of Yacht Club Games, who are here to show off a game that I know you guys have been really excited about, been waiting patiently for. We are going to be bringing this to you on June 26th, so the day is almost upon us. And this is going to be an exclusive for home and handheld consoles. For Nintendo, we'll have it on Wii U and 3DS. So if you guys want to do a quick introduction, we'll just jump right in.
All right.
Yeah, I'm Nick again. Most people call me Waz. I do the pixel art on Shovel Knight.
My name's Ian. I'm a programmer on Shovel Knight.
And I'm Sean Velasco, and I do design and direction on Shovel Knight at the Yacht Club. So yeah, we're going to take a look at the game, and we're going to show off a 3DS exclusive feature called the Street Pass Arena. So, I mean, obviously the 3DS has Street Pass. We're just going to do a quick name registration here. And we're going to show you guys this new feature. We're going to play a new level that we've never seen before, and just kind of have an awesome time.
I've got to say, I don't think I've seen anybody use Street Pass like this.
Yeah, it's a little
very different. It's
I
cool.
mean, it's a little offbeat. It's a little bizarre, but I don't know. I think it's pretty fun also, even though it's just crazy and weird. So yeah, this is our world map, which is the first time we've ever shown this. As you can see, there are different nodes that you can go around to. Shovel Knight moves on the paths, and in addition to regular stages, there are bonus stages, there are villages, there are little wandering encounters that appear. But on top of that, you have the Street Pass Arena. So let's go ahead and head in there. So let's just get acclimated to the controls real fast. Shovel Knight, as you can see, is a side-scrolling 8-bit style platform game. You can jump, you can shovel, and then when you're in the air, when you press down, you can do a shovel drop, which is like a downward stab that you can use to break through blocks, defeat enemies, do all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that's a quick recap on the controls. Let's talk to the Pass Master and get the battle started.
I adore this guy's design, by the way.
Yeah,
giant kooky skeletons.
Yeah, he's hilarious. Well, and we've been talking in his voice the entire time. You know, it's like, welcome to the Street Pass Arena. So here we go. We're recording the Street Pass data right now. So the idea is that you're fighting against another Shovel Knight, but that other Shovel Knight is going to pass you via Street Pass, so you can't see what is going on. You're trying to collect the gems, you're trying to defeat the other player, and then you have all these sub-weapons that you can see on the bottom screen that you can use to try to defeat the player in some way. Of course, since they're not there and you don't know what they're going to do, and also you can street pass multiple people, you're just going to try and do the thing that you think is going to be best.
Yeah, predict, like, someone's probably going to be over here first. I'm going to head over there.
Right.
And you only have a few seconds.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds per round, so it's over. And now we can go and see, you know, hopefully we'll get a street pass. Well, we know we're going to get a street pass because we're going to pass here. And in the meantime, we can show off a new stage. And that's right over here. So this is the Lost City, the lair of Mole Knight. And we'll go through and play, and we can show you all the mechanics and everything in here.
Awesome.
So yeah, I have a lot of sub-weapons I can use to dispatch enemies at my command. I like the wand a lot. I think it's really versatile. I can just like shoot a projectile and get the guys out of there. There's also one of my favorites is the coin. The Midas coin turns enemies into gold, so you can get a very lucrative yield from killing guys. Or bounce back if they deflect.
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Yeah, in addition, I mean, it's like I was saying, we have the jump, we have the shovel, we have the down thrust, and then these sub-weapons kind of let you play in a way that's most interesting to you. So we have the fire rod, which is a long-range weapon, which is great for a short-range character. We have a phase locket that lets you fade out of existence, but only temporarily, and so you can use that to avoid damage. You can use it to walk on spikes. You know, it has many utilities. Some players are purists, you know, I can go through the game and enjoy myself and not use any of the sub-weapons, and it's a very pure NES-style retro experience.
Yeah.
But it's really fun to experiment with this stuff too. Okay. So yeah.
I love this dude.
Yeah. This is our bouncing beetle. You know, when we wanted to do a game that was reminiscent of 8-bit games, but unique in its own way, we thought, okay, well, if we're going to do a lava level, you know, lava levels have been done to death. We've seen them, you know, thousands of times in games before. So in this case, well, first of all, we have this beetle, but we're introducing this kind of green, viscous goo that you can bounce off of. Oh man, this is so dangerous.
Well, I'll say, I definitely haven't bounced around on the back of a jelly beetle before, so that's a new experience.
And we'll see how it all ties in a little bit too. Nice secret also. That's another thing that's great to highlight is Shovel Knight is a game that's just absolutely full of secrets. So you can see there's like kind of a weird block under Shovel Knight that looks a little bit different. I imagine that if you hit that, there's going to be something behind there.
Yeah.
And there is, right? It's a platter.
Now that we're showing folks so much of the graphic element of this game, I'd love to chat for a little bit about how you guys balance the 8-bit aesthetic with a more modern style, because it looks very classic, but at the same time, there's stuff going on here with the backgrounds and some of the other details that are a much more modern touch
Sure,
as far as the aesthetics go.
Well, right, yeah. I mean, in addition, the 3DS version is totally stereoscopic, and so there's just many layers of parallax going into the background. We tried to stick mostly with the NES palette. So the NES has a 64 color palette, and we have like a 66 color palette because we just needed to cheat with the colors.
Couple of cheaters.
Yeah, just here and there. Our animations are much more intense. Like I was saying, our backgrounds are layered and varied, and you couldn't do parallax backgrounds. But our sound is totally 100% good NES style. We're using at least a simulated VRC6 sound chip, which is the same one that they used for the music for Castlevania 3.
Yeah, the audio just gives you this warm, fuzzy, sort of back to your childhood feeling. So that's just what I love. Yes,
it's very, we're trying to invoke that nostalgia, but kind of like the rose-tinted version of it, the game that you saw in your mind as a kid, as opposed to the one that was actually on the screen. But
and on the subject of audio, you've got some pretty sweet other details going on with the music, I believe.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, first off, we have Jake Kaufman doing our music and sound design, and he's just an incredible talent. He's prolific, and he's amazing and wonderful, and, we love him to death. But it's also extremely special that we have Manami Matsumae.
That's kind of crazy.
The original creator, the sound designer, Mega Man, both the sound and the music, UN Squadron, and now she's working on Mighty Number 9. She's doing even more stuff. When we got that email in our inbox, it was just
totally getting trolled.
Yeah, we didn't even believe it. It's like, oh yeah. This can't possibly be true.
Sure,
right?
you want to do music.
Yeah, but sure enough, it was true, and the tracks are absolutely amazing, and it just, it makes my heart swell just to think about it. So things are progressing smoothly here.
Yeah, hopefully they'll
you haven't died yet. It's like you want to use that shovel so bad, but here you can't. This is great because you have all those weapons, and like you could use it to your advantage in that situation.
I gotta wonder with the weapons, like how much you guys spent just playing around with shovels you picked up at the hardware store. It's like, okay, how is this attack really gonna look?
We do actually have a shovel at the office for just such occasions.
How often have you whack each other with it? We're just like, I gotta know what it looks like to get hit with a shovel. Come here.
Right, yeah, I need to check this animation.
This is research.
Yeah, here, Wallace, come over here. I just need to smack you. Okay, so here's that lava and goo mechanic that I was talking about. So this lava ball that you saw we were bouncing on earlier, you can knock it in to the lava, a goo ball rather, and then it turns everything gooey and bouncy. So in addition to a lot of action elements, Shovel Knight has a couple of slightly puzzly things, but nothing that should break it up too much. Here, you have to knock it onto this platform and then do a death-defying leap to try to get over. Oh god, dude.
Death-defying bounce.
Okay, alright, yeah, that should be fine. Here's another example. So we have a lot of checkpoints in this game. It's something that should be easy for younger players or for newbies to get into and kind of enjoy themselves, but maybe not get all of the secrets or maybe not kind of unlock all of the potential that the game has to offer.
Yeah.
The reason I say this is because we just put you through gauntlets, over and over again of increasingly difficult things, but we're trying to teach you all of the mechanics through the game itself.
Yeah, it's nice to have it. It's show, don't tell. So you're going to have a chance like, okay, first up, let's get you through this. Next up, you're going to learn another skill, and it gradually builds on itself. So it's not like you're just suddenly thrown into like, okay, here's everything you have to know all at once. Good luck.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, but then it does build up, and by the time you get to the end of the game, it's a very, when you get to the end, you won't believe that you're able to do the things that you can do compared to what the beginning was like.
Nice. Good work.
Yeah.
Speaking of, thrash in the mole minion.
Time to bounce.
Yeah. Careful.
So Waz has a lot of sub-weapons here, but depending on the orders that he tackled the level, he probably wouldn't have most of these.
Yeah, he would not have a lot of these, so he's decked out for the purposes of this stage. It's actually really cool to see some of the time. Like, I wouldn't usually have the anchor at this point.
But you could. You could tackle the stage before this in a different order.
Dude, no, oh no.
Everything's fine.
You didn't help the beetle.
Oh, that poor little guy.
Wow.
Need some health. So I'm
So
going to
I
destroy
don't know
this
if it's going to be
checkpoint.
too distracting for you to talk and play, but
Go for it.
if you're up for chatting a bit more about the pixel art, I think that's something folks would love to hear a bit more about.
I mean, like Sean mentioned a little bit about the palette. It's something that we have been trying to stick to as much as possible. It's a very interesting thing to work with a palette like that. The original NES had only 64 colors. It had 16 colors at one time on a screen. But we've really been kind of pushing past that and trying to find a way that balances the expectation of quality with sticking to the nostalgia or that NES feel.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All
working in
right.
pixel art is really fun, and having a set palette like that is actually it's restricted but very liberating at the same time.
Okay, now we're gonna fight Mole Knight.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to
Also
see if
a
you
boss
can knock this guy off fast so we can get some street passing going.
Yeah, that's true. You're just gonna have to thrash him, Waz.
Yeah, just
So
do it.
while we're
You can
watching
do that,
this,
right?
Oh yeah, I can try.
nice. So in a couple seconds, we're going to look at the street pass.
That's right.
Should we chat a bit about the Wii U version and what's going to be going on there?
Yeah, sure. We have a feature called the Digger's Diary that uses the Miiverse in kind of an interesting way. So on your gamepad, there's going to be a little tab, called the Diary, and you click on it, and messages from other players will appear. Now, the cool part is all of the messages pertain to whatever room that you're in. So if there's a secret in the room, then maybe you'll get players saying, oh, there's a secret in the upper left-hand corner. If there's a tough enemy and the player died on that enemy, we'll prompt the player to write at a certain time. So it's like, dang that enemy. We're hoping that there's going to be cool drawings of guys. You died.
They kind of reminds me of like, oh no.
You just got to back out.
I guess we can show up the street pass.
Well,
now.
It kind of
Wins
reminds me
today.
in like Dark Souls, say, where you
Yes.
hope people
Well,
are being
wins.
honest with you, but they might not be. There might be somebody trolling you in there who's like, oh yeah, this is totally what you do. There's a secret area
absolutely-
over there. Just keep
yeah.
hitting it, and you'll find it.
Right,
It'll crack
try-
open eventually.
Try jumping off.
Good idea. Jump in that pit. It's actually a secret treasure room. Trust me, it's gold
tried
down
to
there.
Okay, so
Did we?
now with any luck, the street
We
pass
have
will have
street
street
pass.
passed.
Oh no.
I don't know about that.
All right.
There might
let's
be
see.
too much excitement.
Gotta hang up.
at
I
E3.
guess, yeah, I can get
Yeah,
too wrapped
let's
up
leave and
into
come
it.
back.
I'm gonna have
I
to go
think
back
we'll have
out.
gotten it.
All right, I just saw one of the random characters just toddle off the map there.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
do have these little fellas.
Right. So yeah, if you were to run into him, then you would get kind of wrapped up into a little fight that you would have to battle with several enemies and some hazards, and it's kind of cool because you'll be on your way back to the village with a huge haul of gold. You're afraid you're going to lose it all, and then all of a sudden, there's a knight that is in your way, and you have to finish it without dying.
Yeah, and I've had it happen at some really inopportune times where it's like, okay, I'll kill you. I wasn't looking to kill you, but
Yeah.
fine, you're here.
Let's go check
I'll
out
take
that
you
Iron
out.
Knight
Or if
guy.
you actually want to get one of these guys and you're like, why won't you come here?
Yeah.
I really just want to fight you and take your loot. Please show up.
Well, yeah, and when they kill you and run away, then it's like, it's so problematic.
Oh, speaking of,
Yeah,
Right.
there we go.
And these little dragons knock me off constantly. But usually there's a lot of treasure in these areas too.
So you don't want to necessarily avoid these guys on the map. It's worth hunting them down if you think you have a shot of taking them out.
Yeah, sometimes it's worth it. How's the street pass going, y'all?
it looks like Street Pass might not be in the cards today.
Okay.
Shovel Knight is probably a little bashful at the E3 show floor.
Is your wireless on?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no worries. On the off chance
The
that we
powers
can't get
that
it to
be.
work here, we can kind of talk through what folks would have seen.
Well, yeah, I
If
mean,
it had gone on with-
basically the data that we showed of the one Shovel Knight jumping around, when the other player street passes, they have another set of data that they didn't. So
Try-
both
try
players
holding it
will
hard.
battle together, and you'll just
Like
see how it
L and
plays
X
out.
really hard.
So it's like sometimes an attack will happen, and it'll
L
just
and X.
totally whiff. Sometimes they'll be fighting, and they'll just be going back and forth on each other, and it's just totally ridiculous.
And it's really fun when you see some of them where it's like you're just bouncing around at opposite sides of the screen. It's like, oh,
Yes. Yeah.
I have to predict this better. But if there's somebody that you street pass with pretty reliably and you're like, yeah, okay, I work with this guy, I know I'm going to run into him, you get a sense for his play style and his patterns. You're like, okay, I know exactly what you're doing. Let's go
That's
for
right.
it.
Yeah, you can revise your strategy, and so it's just cool. You know, after multiple street passes, you can start to develop kind of an interesting back and forth with your friends.
Waz, let's call it a draw. Let's part as equals.
We'll say that
All right.
We'll
the
have to
best
save
man
the
won, and we'll let you
rivalry for
interpret that however you like. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys, for bringing this by and giving us a deeper look at it. I know this is a day one purchase for me, and I know a lot of other folks are going to be super psyched too. So again, that's June 26th, Nintendo eShop. Check it out. And please stay with us. In a few seconds, I believe Reggie's going to be stopping.